despite the fact that there's a bunch of contracts you might have to get rid of, is the Charger job. So if I were him, that's the one I'd probably be sniffing around the most.
If you were to take Jim Harbaugh and just place him with the team, take the interviews out, and you were just to place him with the team, where do you think the best fit would be for Jim Harbaugh?
I think the best fit for Jim Harbaugh would be the Raiders, because Mark Davis is looking for someone who he can just hand the team to and not worry about it. He thought he had that with Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels, and it didn't work. But there might be pressure, too much pressure internally, to hire Antonio Pierce for Mark Davis to really do what he wants to do. And I think if given his druthers, he would want to hire Jim Harbaugh. If you keep Antonio Pierce there, you basically are saying, okay, we got to have a general manager coach structure like, has worked most teams in the NFL. The potency structure, which is kind of what I would think that Jim Harbaugh would want. He would want to have Belichick-type control over a team along with a general manager who he would approve of hiring. So that, to me, is the difficult part of this choice. Are the owners he's going to talk to, is Dean Spano with the Chargers willing to say, we'll give you full control over everything, you hire a general manager and let's go? So my feeling is, I think if I were Jim, I'd really want to make absolutely sure that whoever I picked as a general manager is going to have the experience and who's going to have the expertise to come in on day one, run the draft, as he gets back up to speed with all things NFL.
Final thing before we get into the playoff bracket, your gut on Belichick.
Oh, my gut feeling is it ends in divorce, but that's been my gut feeling for probably 2 months. I think that the Krafts are tired of dealing with Bill Belichick, who's difficult to deal with when you win and who's really unpleasant to deal with when you lose. I think that Jonathan Kraft, the younger Kraft, Robert Kraft is the owner. Jonathan Kraft is maybe 60 years old, is his son, who one day will take over this team. I think there's varying degrees of thought about Belichick and how much they really are tired of dealing with it. But I do think the ownership thinks it's best to move on. Belichick's going to enter next year as a 72-year-old person, and although you could easily make the point, I mean, George Halas's last year, he coached, he was 72, and he looked like he was 82. Belichick's 72, is going to be 72, he looks like he's 60. So I'm just saying that I think Bill could coach 2 or 3 more years easily, but I just don't think deep down the Patriots want that to happen. If it does happen, the one thing about the Patriots is that they are going to demand changes in the structure of the team.
Let's talk a little bit about the playoffs, because Matthew Stafford, as we know, is coming back to Detroit. He's finally going to play a playoff game in Detroit, even though it's for the Rams.
Only not for them. It's amazing.
Yes.
I know. I mean, the irony, obviously, is not lost on any of us. But what is the biggest difference from when you look at the Rams now and the 4-game streak and really the last half of the season? They have played dramatically better football. What's been the biggest difference in the second half versus the first half of the Rams football?
The maturation of that defense, and the poster child for that is a guy named Kobe Turner, 89th pick in the draft, 3rd-round pick for the Rams. He's a defensive tackle from Wake Forest, who Aaron Donald, it's like Aaron Donald's son. It's his pride and joy. He has trained him. He's worked with him. In the last half of the season, he's become a really almost borderline dominant interior player. I think that has allowed the defense to do so many better things around the edges, which you weren't able to do if you only have one guy in the middle. Now they have two. Kobe Turner is going to be my defensive rookie of the year when I put my vote into the Associated Press this week. I think that's one thing. I think the second thing is the running back, Kyren Williams, the Notre Dame kid, who basically, just like so many players on the Rams, a low-round pick, and lower round pick because they haven't had a first-round pick since 2016. He has basically removed all question about the quality of the running game. Even without a great offensive line, Kyren Williams can make yards when the holes aren't really there. I think those two things, that plus the fact, obviously, with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, you have, a two-headed threat, in the passing game. And I think just the maturation of this team with a lot of young guys like Puka Nacua, Kobe Turner, that has made the big difference in the second half of this season.
Peter King is brought to us by Old Spice Gentleman's Blend Body Wash, providing exfoliation plus 24/7 moisturization because men have skin too. Peter, if you were a betting man, would you take the Ravens and the Niners or the field?
The field. Because I think other than what the Ravens have done in the last, say, 3 weeks of the season, the Ravens have been the best team in football this year, and they deserve to be the number one seed. They deserve to be the Super Bowl favorite. But their road, in my opinion, is likely going to be Cleveland at home in the divisional round, Buffalo at home in the divisional round. Cleveland at home in the divisional round, Buffalo at home in the championship game. Both of those games are going to be very tough to win. They lost to Cleveland this year, and I think they're going to have a very tough road. I think obviously it's going to be a tough road in the NFC too. I think both Detroit and Dallas and the Rams as well are going to be tough foes. I think those three teams, two of those three teams are going to be the foes for the Niners. I have a gut feeling that the Niners survive and the Ravens don't, but that's just a gut feeling.
Well, I asked you about the Rams and their turnaround. There's obviously a dramatic turnaround in Philadelphia. They started off playing good, but not like they were last year. They lost both coordinators, but in the end of the season, it feels like they've fallen apart. What has gone on in Philadelphia? And I'm somewhat hearing from those in Philadelphia that Nick Sirianni, if things don't go well, that the strife between him and Jalen Hurts, it may cost Nick Sirianni his job.
I think what's happened there is one of the most amazing things I've seen in 40 years covering the NFL. And that is that 6 weeks ago, they were on course to be the top seed in the NFC and to steamroll through the playoffs and all that. They survived a gritty game against Buffalo, I think 34-31. There was no question in my mind that they were going to make it. But I think what has happened basically is that this is a listless team right now. Their defense, a lot of the guys who were good earlier in the year, it seems like they're either worn out or their attitude has just crumbled. Jalen Carter's a great example of that. He was an impact player in the first 10 weeks. I challenge you to look at 5 plays Jalen Carter's made in the last 6 weeks. He's basically disappeared. They have other attitude issues, both on that defense and offense, and aging issues. I think the big question when Nick Sirianni meets with Jeffrey Lurie and the general manager Howie Roseman after the season is, I think he's going to have to provide some rock-solid answers. First of all, I think he's going to have to get a brand-new defensive staff. if he stays. But I think he's going to have to provide some answers of why could you not get this team in full crisis mode to respond to you in the last 3-4 weeks of the season? Because it's clear. He stands up every week and says, we got prideful guys, we got this, we got that, we're going to be okay. A lot of teams would like to be in our position, and they don't respond. You know, part of a coach's job is to get his team to respond when they're in crisis. Offensively and defensively, they really look like they're just mailing it in.
Yeah, they look like they've given up. Peter, thanks a lot. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you about the next round of the Lions playoffs next week. Appreciate it. Have a great week.
Sounds great, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Odyssey NFL insider Peter King. Insider calls are brought to you by Old Spice. Men have skin, too.
Hey, when it comes to an IRS collection or audit, you need a law firm that specializes in the resolution of all types of tax problems. And when dealing with the world's largest civil law enforcement agency, your case can take a lot of twists and turns. Your first call should be to an experienced law firm like Abraham & Rose. They're prepared to advocate on your behalf, no matter if it's civil or criminal, or even the Michigan Department of Treasury. Whether personal income tax or business payroll taxes, you will need a real team of local lawyers, not some tax organization with a random individual that you are never going to meet. Visit abrahamandrose.com today or call 248-539-5040 so you never personally have to deal with the IRS.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 24-hour traffic center, watching the accident is a big deal along I-75 northbound at Grand River. Right lane is blocked off. The right shoulder is also blocked. I'm seeing the stop-and-go traffic right now. Give yourself some extra time. There's also I-75 northbound at the lodge where the overturned vehicle is blocking out the left lane and that exit ramp there as well. Slow traffic along eastbound, westbound I-94 between 96 and 75. I'm Val Berry with traffic.
A station where your opinion matters.
97.1 The Ticket.
This is former Esiason with Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. And Teoscar goes to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Veteran outfielder DH Teoscar Hernandez, that is. And why not? When you've already smashed the billion-dollar offseason barrier by signing Japanese superstars Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, what's a $23.5 million one-year deal? I'm Boomer Esiason.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day. From comfortable guest rooms to complimentary hot breakfast, Fairfield is part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and official hotel partner of the NCAA. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
The Accelerated Bachelor of Science in Nursing program from Madonna University lets you earn your nursing degree in as few as 16 months. If you have a bachelor's degree or 60 credits and the passion to serve, our ABSN program in Metro Detroit may be the right path for you. Use your degree or transfer your credits to jumpstart your nursing degree on your way to a career that changes lives. Search Madonna ABSN today.
At Corewell Health, every leap forward starts with the same question. Can we? Can we use genetics to fight cancers? As in plural? As in all of them? Can we save a person's heart from 500 miles away using robots? Can we combine psychology, biology, and all the ologies to heal the whole person? We can. Corewell Health. Visit corewellhealth.org and discover what we can do together.
Your NFC North champion Detroit Lions live on 97.1 The Ticket. And with the free Odyssey app, you can listen to your favorite announcers during every game. Turn down your TV and turn up Dan Miller, Lomas Brown, and TJ Lang.
Throwing deep downfield. It is picked up by the Lions. Intercepted. Lions are going to win it.
Detroit, you've waited for this. Playoff football is coming back to the Motor City. It's easy to sync 97.1 The Ticket with the Lions on your TV during the playoffs. So download the free Odyssey app today.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. Resolve to recycle more. Recycle paper, bottles, and cans directly, and recycle old clothes by donating them. One Thing is brought to you by GFL Environmental. Green for life.
Parents, do you want to save your child's life? 97.1 The Ticket Student Heart Check can help. Make the time to have your child checked. Contact the Max and Deborah Ernst Heart Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Learn more at 97onetheticket.com. Sponsored by Priority Health and Total Healthcare Foundation. Congratulations to the new college football playoff national champions, the Michigan Wolverines.
JJ under center. Brings a tight end in motion. Handoff Blake Corum up the middle. Touchdown! Wolverines find the left side of the offensive line. And Michigan extends the lead to 33-13 with 3:37 to go in the ball game.
Michigan winning the national championship last night, as everyone knows, 34-13. Dan Campbell will join us at 8:02. Real quick, John. I thought Peter King was pretty interesting. All the Jalen Carter lovers like myself and you, although I don't think you're on the same, you'd rather have him Gibbs and Laporta, but I was on that hill a few weeks ago. It is amazing what's happened to him and that whole, the Eagles defense, by the way, they've basically given up. They don't even know how to tackle.
Well, it's so weird because, and I understand having two new coordinators, two new voices, two new ideas, and obviously on defense they've gone from one coordinator to Matt Patricia, and things don't look comfortable in Philadelphia, but you didn't lose that many players defensively. You lost, I think, two. You lost one up front and one in the secondary, and we happen to have one of them. But there wasn't wholesale changes, and so I'm just very curious to hear when the season is over. There's always going to be some leaks as to what was going on. Is it really just boiled down to Jalen Hurts is the leader of this team? They paid him this contract in the offseason, and now there's a problem between Sirianni and Jalen Hurts? Or is there something more to it?
It certainly is not a very good product right now, and my friends and family are pissed. I mean, they can go and beat Tampa. The problem is because Tampa doesn't have an explosive offense, so they can be in the game with them. But if they play anybody that has a really good offense, they're done, unless something drastic would happen. 248-539-9797, talking about Michigan's championship game. John, by the way, is in Houston with no sleep.
No, I woke up yesterday at 3 a.m. And I'm rocking and rolling ever since then. I did try and lay down yesterday to get some sleep after the show before I went to the stadium, and that wasn't happening because I was too excited. I ended up going to the stadium a little bit earlier, but it was an unbelievable day. And at the very end, I got to share a quick story with you.
Yes.
Because we got back to the hotel, and I can't remember what time it is. It's kind of a blur, as I'm sure you can understand having no sleep. But we got back, and we were, high-fiving in the lobby, and the place was absolutely packed. and we heard that there was a replay of the game, whether it was ESPN was replaying it or one of the ESPN channels. So we ran up to Doug's room real quick, and we're watching the game because we wanted to see how a couple of things looked in replay. As we left, because we were going to go back down to the lobby, everybody was walking out, so nonchalantly I let everybody, being the nice individual that I am, I held the door. I said, go ahead on head on out. And then after everybody was out, I looked at the thermostat and I turned it up to about 80 in Doug's room. and we left. And then at about 3 o'clock this morning, he said, hey, I'm about to cash in, and I had to go up and get my backpack, get ready to come over to the studio that I'm using here, which is, by the way, is a great studio, very friendly here in Houston and the state of Texas. And I'm going to try and pull up my text messages that I received, very rude text messages from Doug Karsh. And he said, our room is a sauna. And he used a term that begins with F. And so I obviously played it off like what are you talking about?
Yeah, maybe you have a bad furnace in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I told him, and so I got up to my room and I sent him a picture of my thermostat. I said, oh no, I think there might be something wrong in the hotel because mine is warmer than I set it as well. I usually set mine about 66, 65, as low as it'll go. And it was reading 68. I said, I'm going to call the front desk. I'll let them know. And then all I got was an F off. And so I have not heard from him. What's that?
You couldn't fool him, huh?
No. He was probably on to me. Hey, whatever. I'll take credit.